Top 4. Best breakfast for arthritis relief. Reduce pain and inflammation. Naturally. Do you ever wake up with your hands stiff, your knees aching, and a quiet sigh escaping your lips before your feet even touch the ground? It's not just the cold air or the mattress, it's the slow whisper of inflammation, reminding us that the years we've walked are now asking for gentler care. Many of my patients tell me the same story. Doctor, they say, I feel like my joints aren't ready for the day until hours later. And to that, I always answer the day doesn't begin with movement. It begins with nourishment. What you choose to eat first thing in the morning can shape your entire day, not only in how your joints feel, but how your energy flows, how your mind focuses, and how your heart lifts. So today, I want to sit with you like an old friend. Let's talk about 3 kinds of breakfasts that don't just fill your stomach, but quietly tend to your inflammation, your stiffness, your need for healing. These are small morning rituals that I have seen make a real difference. Are you ready? Grab your tea, take a deep breath, and come join me. Let's begin this healing conversation together. Part 1. Oats with turmeric and ginger. A warm embrace for your joints. Doctor, I just want to get out of bed and feel normal. That's something an older gentleman once whispered to me at 7:30 a.m., sitting quietly in my exam room. His hands were gently folded, but his knuckles were swollen and red. Every morning feels like I've aged another decade, he said, and I nodded. Because I know that feeling isn't uncommon. But here's the part many people don't realize: one of the quietest tools to ease morning stiffness is already sitting in your kitchen cabinet, your breakfast. Let me walk you through one of my favorite healing morning meals, a bowl of warm oats gently laced with turmeric and ginger. Now, I know it doesn't sound exciting at first glance. It's not trendy or fancy. But sometimes, the best medicine is the one that asks the least of us and gives the most in return. Let's start with oats. Oats are what I call a slow medicine food, rich in soluble fiber. They help regulate blood sugar. Why does that matter? Because blood sugar spikes in the morning can worsen inflammation, making your joints feel even tighter. But oats, they slow it down. They calm the inner storm. They're also filled with antioxidants like avenanthramide's a fancy word, but a humble helper, which have been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in people with chronic joint pain. But then comes the magic turmeric and ginger. Turmeric is golden, not just in color, but in value. The compound curcumin inside turmeric has been studied widely for its ability to reduce inflammation at the cellular level. It works by turning down the volume on certain genes and enzymes that trigger the body's inflammatory response. It's like lowering the volume on morning pain. The catch: curcumin isn't easily absorbed by our bodies, but there's a secret I always tell my patients: a pinch of black pepper. Just a tiny bit can increase absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. It's simple, it's gentle, it's powerful. Now to the ginger. This is where warmth and relief meet. Ginger contains gingerols, compounds that work similarly to NSAIDs like ibuprofen, but naturally. They calm inflammation, soothe the digestive tract, and help reduce muscle tension, perfect for those aching mornings when your body feels one step behind. Imagine this. You rise in the early hours, your kitchen bathed in soft light, you stir warm oats with a teaspoon of turmeric, a bit of grated ginger, a pinch of pepper, maybe a touch of cinnamon, a drizzle of honey, and a few chopped walnuts. The bowl is simple, but it is also sacred. It's you saying to your body, I see you, I'm caring for you. And the best part, this breakfast is easy. You don't need chef skills. A microwave will do. A small pot works just fine. This is healing made humble, but skip it, and the cost is subtle but real. You may notice more stiffness by mid-morning, more fatigue. The little whispers of inflammation become louder. You feel behind all day. So don't underestimate what you begin your day with. If you haven't tried this golden bowl yet, I gently urge you to try it tomorrow morning, not as a miracle, but as a message of care to your body. A quiet act of healing that begins before the world has even woken up. Part 2. Fruity Chia Seed Pudding. A gentle morning for sore joints. Some mornings, your joints ache before your eyes even open. There's that deep, dull stiffness, almost like your knees are wrapped in cotton, or your fingers are rusted hinges. If that sounds familiar, let me gently say this: the inflammation you're feeling is real, but there are ways to quiet it, starting with your very first spoonful of food. Now, what if I told you that one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory breakfasts comes in a pudding cup? Let's talk about fruity chia seed pudding, a humble, no-cook breakfast that's as healing as it is delicious. I first learned about chia seeds not in medical school, but from a grandmother I once treated, Lucille. She was 84, wise, witty, and every morning she ate a glass jar of chia pudding with berries. "This," she said, "keeps my joints as young as my spirit." Lucille was right. Chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, especially ALA, a type that our bodies convert into compounds that fight inflammation instead of feeding it. Why does that matter? Because for people with arthritis or chronic joint pain, every molecule of inflammation matters. Omega-3s don't just soothe, they shift the entire chemistry of your immune response, gently nudging it away from attack mode. But the power of chia seeds doesn't stop there. They're also high in soluble fiber, which helps stabilize blood sugar, a crucial factor for arthritis relief. When blood sugar spikes, it triggers a cascade of inflammatory signals. Keeping it steady is like putting out a dozen little fires inside your body. Even more, fiber supports gut health, and a healthy gut reduces systemic inflammation. What happens in your belly truly echoes in your joints. And then there are the berries. Berries, nature's colorful gift to those of us aging with grace. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, all bursting with flavonoids and vitamin C. These compounds fight oxidative stress, the invisible aging process that stiffens joints, damages tissues, and leaves us feeling 10 years older on a bad day. Flavonoids act like tiny firefighters, neutralizing the free radicals that inflame our cells. Meanwhile, vitamin C helps build collagen, the protein that cushions our joints and keeps them flexible. And the best part, this breakfast feels like dessert but heals like medicine. Let me give you a simple method. In a small jar or bowl, combine 1 cup of milk, dairy, almond, oat, whatever you enjoy, 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. Stir well and let it rest for 10 minutes. Stir again, then cover and refrigerate for at least 2 hours or overnight. In the morning, top it with a generous handful of fresh berries. If you like, add a splash of vanilla, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a few chopped walnuts. What you'll get is a rich, creamy, spoonable breakfast that doesn't just sit in your stomach, it works for your joints all morning long. And the flexibility is endless. If you want more protein, stir in a bit of Greek yogurt or a spoonful of almond butter. Want more anti-inflammatory power? Add a pinch of turmeric or grated ginger right into the mix. What's important is the intention. You're not just eating breakfast, you're participating in your healing. You're giving your body the tools it needs to feel lighter, freer, more capable. Because skipping breakfast or choosing a processed one only feeds the inflammation. The joints swell, the fatigue deepens, the mood dips. And suddenly, the day feels like a mountain instead of a morning. But not today. Today, you pause, you nourish, you listen. And with something as simple as a spoonful of chia pudding, you remind your body, we are still in this together. Part 3. Avocado and smoked salmon toast. building strength, one bite at a time. Have you ever sat down to eat, not just to fill your stomach, but to feel whole again? That's what I think of when I talk about this next breakfast. Because sometimes, healing begins not with a pill or a prescription, but with a slice of bread, a ripe avocado, and a few thin layers of smoked salmon. Let's take a moment to appreciate what I call the anti-inflammatory toast, rich in good fats, bursting with flavor, and incredibly supportive for aging joints. And yes, it only takes 5 minutes to make. Here's what makes it powerful. Let's begin with avocado. This creamy green fruit is a treasure trove of monounsaturated fats, the kind of fat your joints actually love. Unlike the saturated fats that promote inflammation and stiffness, monounsaturated fats work with your body, not against it. They help reduce levels of C-reactive protein CRP, a marker of inflammation in the blood that often correlates with joint pain. So when you eat avocado, you're not just enjoying its taste, you're soothing your joints from the inside out. But that's not all. Avocados are rich in vitamin E, which acts as an antioxidant that protects joint tissues from oxidative stress, something that naturally increases with age. They also contain vitamin C, vital for collagen production, the protein that cushions your joints like soft shock absorbers. And don't overlook the potassium, a mineral that helps maintain muscle tone, fluid balance, and even reduces cramping. It's one of the reasons why people who eat avocados regularly often report fewer aches and spasms, especially in the legs and lower back. Now let's talk about the second half of this healing duo, smoked salmon. Salmon is more than a protein. It's a natural source of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, which are directly involved in turning off the body's inflammatory response. EPA and DHA have been shown in multiple studies to reduce morning stiffness and joint tenderness in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. They work by lowering levels of inflammatory cytokines, those chemical messengers that tell your body to inflame. Think of omega-3s as the diplomats in your immune system. They de-escalate the tension. Plus, smoked salmon provides lean protein to support muscle maintenance. And as you age, maintaining muscle is essential not just for strength and mobility, but to keep your joints aligned and supported. Every bite is an investment in your body's structure. Now, how do you make it? Toast a slice of whole grain bread for added fiber and blood sugar stability. Gently mash 1-2 a ripe avocado onto the toast. Add 2-3 slices of smoked salmon on top. For extra flavor, sprinkle with sesame seeds, squeeze a little lemon juice, and finish with fresh dill or black pepper if you like. You can even add a soft-boiled egg if you want to boost the protein. This breakfast doesn't just look beautiful, it's functional food. It nourishes, stabilizes, strengthens. But let me gently say, if you skip this kind of breakfast and reach for processed foods, the results may not be obvious right away. But over time, the small inflammations accumulate. The knees feel more swollen. The hands feel clumsier. You tire more quickly. Your body starts to whisper that something's not right. But just like small habits hurt, small changes heal. You may not think a simple piece of toast matters, but when that toast is layered with foods that reduce inflammation, support tissue repair, and balance your system, it becomes a form of medicine. And I've seen it work. A patient of mine named Daniel, age 73, added this one breakfast 3 times a week. 6 weeks later, his morning stiffness had lessened, and he was walking his dog again, something he hadn't done in months. No magic, just mindful food. So tomorrow morning, instead of skipping breakfast or settling for something sugary, treat yourself to this healing toast. Your joints will thank you, and so will your heart. Part 4. Spinach and Mushroom Egg Scramble. I used to skip breakfast, one of my older patients once told me. But now, my mornings feel better when I start with something warm and savory. And I couldn't agree more. Not every healing breakfast has to be sweet or spooned from a jar. Sometimes what your joints need is the comfort of a warm pan, the earthy scent of mushrooms, and the golden richness of scrambled eggs. Let me introduce you to a nourishing anti-inflammatory option that's deeply satisfying: spinach and mushroom egg scramble. Let's start with the eggs. Eggs are a nearly perfect food when it comes to protein. They contain all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks that your body uses to repair muscle, rebuild tissue, and support joint structure. For older adults, adequate protein is crucial. Muscle naturally declines with age, and without muscle, joints are left unsupported and more vulnerable to strain and pain. Eggs are also a source of vitamin D, a nutrient that helps regulate calcium absorption, keeps bones strong, and supports immune health. Low vitamin D has been associated with increased joint pain, especially in knees and hips. Now, let's talk about the mushrooms. Mushrooms are underappreciated heroes when it comes to joint health. They contain compounds like ergothioneine, a powerful antioxidant that protects cells from stress and helps reduce chronic inflammation. Some varieties, like shiitake and maitake, even contain beta-glucans, natural immune modulators that help calm overactive inflammatory responses. Mushrooms also provide selenium, a mineral that helps your body create glutathione, another key antioxidant that protects joint tissues from wear and tear. And now, the spinach. This dark leafy green is more than just a salad filler. Spinach is packed with vitamin K, which plays a key role in protecting your bones and cartilage. It also provides magnesium, which helps relax muscles, and calcium, which keeps your skeletal system strong. Even more important, spinach contains plant-based antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect not only your eyes but also your joints from oxidative damage. All of this in one pan. Simple, beautiful, restorative. Here's how to prepare it. In a non-stick pan, warm a tablespoon of olive oil, a healthy fat that also reduces inflammation. Add a handful of sliced mushrooms and saute for 2-3 minutes until softened. Add 1-2 cups of fresh spinach, cooking just until wilted. In a separate bowl, beat 2 eggs or 1 egg and 2 egg whites with a pinch of black pepper and turmeric if you like. Pour the eggs into the pan and gently scramble everything together. Serve with a slice of whole grain toast or avocado if desired. You've just created a breakfast that warms your joints, supports your muscles, and helps your immune system reset gently every morning. And if you're someone who likes routine, this dish adapts beautifully. Swap in kale or Swiss chard. Add chopped red peppers for color. Top with feta cheese or a sprinkle of nutritional yeast if you're dairy-free. Add turmeric for extra anti-inflammatory power. You can even add a spoonful of cooked quinoa for fiber and texture. Now, I won't say this breakfast will cure arthritis, but what I will say is every day you begin with healing food is a day your body doesn't feel forgotten. And that matters. Because joints don't just ache from damage, they ache from neglect. And this scramble is a small promise to yourself that you're paying attention. You're tending to the years you've walked. You're feeding the parts of you that have carried so much, and you're doing it gently. One pan, one forkful, one morning at a time. Maybe you've never thought of breakfast as medicine. Maybe it's just been a habit, a quick bite, or something you skipped when mornings felt rushed. But as the years pass, we begin to realize that small choices create big shifts. A quiet meal in the morning isn't just food, it's a message. A promise, a gentle act of care, oats with turmeric and ginger, chia seed pudding with berries, smoked salmon and avocado toast, or a warm scramble of eggs, spinach, and mushrooms. None of these are complicated. None of them require perfection. But each one is a way to tell your body, I haven't given up on you. I still want you to feel strong, I still believe in your ability to heal. I've seen people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s transform the quality of their mornings just by making breakfast a moment of nourishment instead of neglect. And you can too. So tomorrow morning, when the light touches your window and your joints whisper their familiar ache, pause. Pause and feed yourself something warm, something true. You deserve that. Because healing doesn't always begin with medicine. Sometimes it begins with a bowl, a fork, and the quiet decision to love your body one morning at a time. If this video brought you something meaningful, I invite you to share it with someone you care about. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what breakfast you'll be trying. I always love hearing from you. Take care, friend. And until we meet again, eat gently, live fully, and always start your morning with kindness.